Former State Senator Jake Merrick joining us here on Oklahoma Chronicle, now running for Oklahoma governor on the GOP ticket. Nice to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here.
How is the campaign going? And let me first ask about not just the campaign, but the run across
Right.
Oklahoma. You're not just running for the job. You are literally running.
Literally running, yes, like Forrest Gump, they say. So I started March 2nd at the border just above Quapaw on the northeast corner of the state, right on the Kansas line. And yesterday, I finished the 386 miles across the state. So 66 days down Route 66.
That's incredible.
It has been an incredible journey. I think historic. I haven't found any other gubernatorial candidate that has run the whole state yet.
So you would literally run every single day while campaigning?
6 days a week. 6 days a week. There may have been a couple of days I couldn't fit it in, but we kept our regularly scheduled events. Oftentimes we would run like in Clinton, and then run to Broken Bow, and then come back and run the next day. So it was... Because
if you were to go someplace for a campaign event, you'd have to drive back to where you finished running?
Yep, exactly, and pick up where we left off.
How many miles a day were you?
5 to 10 miles a day. And the last week, I ended up doing 12 and then 15 and then 10 for the last 3 days.
And yet you're sitting here
I'm glad I'm sitting. I'm glad I'm sitting.
I can only imagine. So tell me, obviously, you're right there running for this job.
Yeah.
You know, you've held elected office. I see yard signs around the state. But you're not spending the kind of money I'm seeing being spent by some of the other candidates.
That's right.
Is that by design?
By design, yes. I always say, money is the corrupting factor, and people are disenchanted with politics. Many people have checked out. We're always talking about the low voter turnout on elections, and there's a reason for that. People don't feel they can trust the candidate. They don't feel like they can trust their representatives even anymore, and that's a tragedy. We should be able to trust those that we send to represent us. And so you start looking at why. Well, I believe it's because of the obligations the candidates make to other parties, special interest groups, PACs, lobbyists, whoever it may be that's funding these campaigns. So I made the commitment from the beginning, as many others are these days. It's a growing trend of not taking any lobbyist, PAC, or special interest money. It does set me apart. Some say it puts me at a disadvantage. I think it puts me at a tremendous advantage because it highlights the distinction between me and the other candidates and my commitment to the people, not the political machine. The run is historic and is interesting, running down Route 66, but the deeper purpose behind it is I've got to work 10 times harder, and I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to go to the people, do whatever it takes to win this, to be able to stand and represent the people.
Politically, how are you different from the other candidates? It's a full field. I ask everybody who sits in that chair the same thing.
Yeah.
What sets you apart from them?
I am the principle over politics candidate. That's my main emphasis. And so when I sit in that seat, it will truly be based, my decisions will be based on the Constitution, on what's best for the people. Every candidate can say that. But again, I think the difference is in who's funding your campaign and who you're obligated to. So that's the first primary difference between me and the other candidates. Policy-wise, there may be small differences, It's oftentimes frustrating at a forum where everyone's asked the same question
and everybody says the same thing.
Pretty much the same answers, just different variants of it.
Right.
I am an abolitionist, so I do want to see the complete abolition of abortion in Oklahoma. I prioritize the reform of DHS, the child welfare system in the state. We adopted out of DHS, my wife and I, and so that we then were exposed to the upside down nature of the child welfare system. And so I want to see families protected. I want to see parental authority secured. I want to see our land secured. Lots of concerns about property rights and land values. And so we want to make sure that especially hostile foreign entities aren't owning Oklahoma land.
Right.
And then, of course, the OTA, my position on the OTA really sets me apart from the others, that I would be in favor of the discussion about ending the OTA, the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority.
The turnpikes, yes.
Right, and returning those back to toll-free roads.
Okay. Now, that brings up, the issue of funding and investment, because obviously they do that so that they don't have to spend all this money to build these highways, of course. We have to do it, right, with our tolls. When it comes to, because I've seen you call for the, I think, elimination of of property tax, correct?
Right.
And you'd like to drop the income tax as well, correct?
Yeah, I'd like to eliminate both of them, honestly.
So that would mean, obviously, we'd have to raise, I'm guessing, sales tax. Is that what you'd like to?
So one
to do?
model that I like is the fair tax model, and it's been discussed and debated for decades.
And that is sales tax, right?
It is.
A consumption
tax, right? And so you end the corporate tax, the state income tax, the property tax, you move it all to a consumption tax. The reason I like that is because it's completely voluntary. That rich people pay more because they buy more things, poor people pay less because they buy fewer things. So it's that's why they call it the fair tax. It's the most fair model. But I say that as an idealistic idea to move towards. I also say this, even though I love to end the state income tax and end property tax, these are still a long way off. We have to first start reducing the size of government. As a conservative, I believe in limited government. We continue to grow our budget year after year. And so until we get serious about a true DOGE effort, eliminating the fraud, waste, and abuse in government, whittling down agencies to their core functions, and not growing the budget, then we can talk about true tax reform. But until we start reducing the size of government, it's just rhetoric. So that's what my focus are these agencies across the board, like DHS, like the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse, like the Department of Corrections, giant agencies with large budgets. We have to say, can we reduce the size and scope of these agencies? We have over 380, I think, agencies, boards, and commissions. So where is government outside of its bounds? You know, if you look at the Declaration of Independence, we have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that's given by our Creator. And then governments are instituted among men to protect those rights. And I think we've gotten far from the original intent of government. Government doesn't grant rights, it protects the rights given by God. So I would want to get back to that, then we can have a real discussion about tax reform.
Let me ask you about the current governor, Kevin Stitt, and the job that he has done. Where's some place where you think he's really been spot on?
Yeah.
And where has he been way off?
So I love that he has signed essentially every Second Amendment bill that's hit his desk. He made that commitment, he's followed through with that. And so of course, with constitutional carry and then on, even this year, securing the right to carry in a boat. And I talked to a highway patrolman just yesterday about this. He is over the Marine side of things, and he said that they're completely in favor of that, that if you have constitutional carry, there's no problem carrying it on a boat too. So those things that have hit Governor Stitt's desk like that, the 2A bills, the pro-life bills, all these things he signed, where I tend to disagree with him, he is the businessman governor, according to his own words. And he prioritizes, it seems, the big companies to recruit them into Oklahoma. When I was in the Senate, I voted against Panasonic coming in. The funding, the carve-out, the NDAs to bring in these billion-dollar companies. The
kind of incentives that it takes to
bring them in. Right. So,
but isn't that the game that has to be played now if you want these? Because all the states are playing it?
It's a game that many would argue has to be played. I would love to focus on our small companies, our Oklahoma-grown companies. And many of them would love to be the Panasonics. They would love to be these major corporations. And if they were given the same attention, they could be. And so I would like to turn my attention to these Oklahoma-owned businesses and give them an opportunity to grow instead of sidestepping them and going to the established billion-dollar companies that often come to Oklahoma with different ideas.
Less than 30 seconds. Give me your final pitch to a voter who's just meeting you for the first time. What do they need to know about you?
Well, I am a candidate that has the people in mind first. I'm here to serve. I spend my whole life serving people in ministry, in small businesses. I want to truly reform agencies so we can reduce the size of government and get serious about true tax reform. So you can find out more about me at jakemerrickforgovernor.com, and you can find out more about that run at cjakerun.com.
Well, thankfully the run is over now.
The run is over, right?
The run is over.
The literal run.
And the bigger run continues. Thanks so much. We appreciate you for being here, Mr. Merrick, the former state senator, now running for governor.